Simply a roll of the dice with the man in charge at the start of the season being Russell Martin, who had never encountered the Premier League before. Of course, you wish to continue as good as you were, so the man to take the Saints into the Premier League, who'd also won the playoffs, made complete sense. But it's obvious how big of a jump it is from the Championship to the Premier League, given the recent theme of the three that come up normally go back down. Basically, a lot of outsiders were expecting Russell to not have a hope in hell's chance to keep the Saints up this season, or even keep his job for the entirety of the season. Well, what was the issue? Well, the incompetence of being able to manage games was something Russell Martin wasn't able to do. It might be something that faults him from getting any career return back to the Premier League. He is a good coach, I will say that, but can he manage in England's top division? Gary O'Neill was able to succeed on a survival journey with Wolverhampton Wanderers simply from how well he tackled each individual game, especially against top six sides, as he achieved the double over Chelsea in the 23-24 season and was part of one of 3 teams that were able to take 3 points off Manchester City that league season too. But with Russell's Southampton team, we typically saw them playing a back 3, a 3-5-2, or at times we saw a back 4 implemented in there with a 4-2-3-1. Some managers come to the Premier League and have an interest of playing one shape all season long. This wasn't the case for Russell. He wasn't as stubborn as they were. What it came down to was poor in-game tactical instructions that stayed consistent all season long. Russell believed in that style of play. He got them playing this possession-based football, emphasised massively playing it in their own half, using that as the build-up of play to build momentum to try and get a goal from it. It actually saw the opposite, as it led to a large dismissal of goals that they conceded all season long now. As of today's recording, they've conceded 74 goals in the league this season, the most out of any Premier League club. And that build-up play of playing it round the back, it clearly works for other teams, but it was quite obvious early on that it was a style of play that wouldn't provide any safety for Southampton this season. Teams were figuring out that it was easy and nice to play against Southampton, as you could win the possession in the final third and simply go on to score. In fact, they've conceded 14 goals just from simply losing the ball in their own half in the Premier League this season. I'm recording before the Villa game, and it might be more at the weekend, given Aston Villa's nature of scoring goals. That style of play was something that Russell Martin believed in. He used it all season long. He wasn't going to change his game for anyone. And when Ivan Juric entered the door, he failed to change it too. And it's just embarrassing to watch at this point, as it could be a style of play that simply breaks Derby's 11-point record for the lowest number of points in the Premier League ever. And like I said, Russell Martin believed in the style of play. He's probably going to be using that style of play when he goes to his next club, whatever that may be. I for one agree, it's an effective way to play football. You lead to getting the advantage over your opposition in the long run. It's something that he's crafted for his teams to implement many times before. We saw it when he was at MK Dons and Swansea. It was that good that it led to Southampton having a strong 20-game unbeaten run in the Championship. That was the Championship. Martin tried to transition it to the Premier League, and it failed to have that same powerful effect, let's say. The defence was sloppy, and it was the worst part of the whole team. Arguably the worst defence in the whole league, given the amount of goals that have been conceded. They just weren't good enough to pull this off, to pull that kind of style of play that Russell Martin instructed. On the opposite side of the field, the attack and the attacking plan was to have that sole striker and wingers to create dangerous runs. A lot of the time this season, it worked. The attack itself is pretty decent. Not the best for the league, but easily decent. Cameron Archer was the target man and had a good amount of pace that hurt the defence. He without a doubt should have scored more goals. I mean, just 2 all season long in the Premier League campaign. It's not good enough. But perhaps the finger lies here to both Russell Martin and Ivan Juric. I mean, why have they not coached their way to get the best version of Cameron Archer? Could they not have improved him in any shape or form? Unlocking your own players' next level of quality was something that them 2 coaches failed at completely. Just look at how well Andre Iriolai has done this season at Bournemouth with Anton Semenyo. Despite Archer already playing Premier League football with Sheffield United, Semenyo, who made his debut season in the Premier League in this campaign, looks miles better. And they have the coach to thank for that. So, is the issue here the management? I think it's likely. But in saying that, Russell Martin and Ivan Juric could only work with what they had. I mean, a player who's brought depths of quality is Tyler Diblin, a fantastic youngster who leads in what I'm calling it a pace hurts defence attack. Complete respect and applaud to them coaches, getting what looks to be the best out of him. I think that's something that, you know, they've both equally, more Russell than Ivan, they've both succeeded in. But like I said, you can only work with what you have. Look at what's been the worst part of the team, the defence. I mean, Jan Bednarak, Nathan Wood, Jack Stevens, or even Bella Kotchap. Have they even been particularly good this season? 31-year-old Jack Stevens, who's a player who should be of big and useful influence to the young defenders, has been the complete opposite. 2 red cards this season from reckless tackles being made is something that's not rubbed off well. It doesn't certainly help the team to perform better. Yet an argument could be made for players being instructed better. Man marking is something that might have improved the whole team in general. Even changing your shape to fill up the space as best as possible, which puts the pressure on your opposition. It's probably something that the fans was screaming out for this season. But I don't think these players were good enough to compete in the Premier League. That's what I think it comes down to here. It's a case of this gigantic financial battling playground that is the Premier League. It's at an extraordinary size right now, to the point that teams can't come up from the Championship and tackle it anymore. Let's discuss that in another video, and if you would like to see that, then please do like and subscribe. What next for the Saints? Well, another manager, of course. Ivan Juric, who, let's just talk about for just a minute, didn't supply any kind of unique playstyle that would look to thrive, in my opinion. There were more aerial balls instead of the ball being played on the ground a lot more. It seemed to be more of a kick and rush style up the field, a more brisk way of doing things. But the same things were still happening here, with the ball being dispossessed a lot and an awful amount of passes that were just not meeting its target. They were simply going to the opposition's feet instead. The players couldn't match the strength when the opposition came running, and I don't think the team ever had the strength in them either to achieve safety this season. Sheffield Wednesday manager Danny Roll is the favourite right now to step into the shoes for the Saints campaign in the Championship next season, to do this all over again for the club. The German coach was one of the favourites last time, and it would be the best ideal move given the treacherous football owner that he has the joy right now currently working under. That's a whole other story, but the Southampton job seems to be a daunting one for him, given the lack of managerial experience he has in this country. If he is appointed and does repeat what Russell Martin was able to do last season, then it will be the case of rolling the dice again when the Premier League comes calling. The team that spent £100 million this season couldn't achieve safety. They either didn't spend enough in the league right now, or they didn't have the right man in charge. What do you think? Southampton fans especially, but for everyone, please do leave a comment down below sharing your insight. It's crazy to think that at one point we had Southampton as a accomplished Premier League regular. Has this league really outgrown the old regulars like the Saints, like Leicester City, even Sheffield United, who, if they came up this season, may easily come back down? One thing's for sure, they'll be the favourites to come straight back down. Best to forget about this season, Southampton fans. I've been Rob from the Footy Agenda. Thanks for watching, and please do subscribe to the channel.